So I've been drawing for a little while now, I'd say, and for a fair bit digitally as well, just trying to learn how everything works. And I wanted to try animating for quite some time now. I've done a few before, but they just don't really turn out that well. I did one where I just tried to do like a simple blink, and I did it stupidly and all on one layer. So every single frame I'd have to recolour like the whole thing. So I just scrapped that. I've done other little simple ones that took like 15-20 minutes to do that just don't look that great. So I wanted to try do an actual proper animation, and I wanted to do it within 5-ish days because I didn't want to spend too long on it. Also, I wanted to make the animation on an art style I was very familiar with and I could be very consistent with, so it wouldn't look very weird and inconsistent throughout the entire animation. So I chose the Dragon Ball style because I feel like it's simple to do the face. I feel like the face is kind of very important because that's where you tend to look at. So if it looks different every single frame, it will just look bad. So for the first day, I don't actually have any footage of it because all of my recording's corrupted. So all that really happened on that day was just the sketching for the first and second cut or scene. For the second day, I was just doing some of the line art, so nothing too much happened there, it was just simple really. On the third day, I did a bit more line work, and I also coloured the whole of this first and second cut. I forgot to do them on separate layers like an idiot, so I had to spend a lot longer colouring every single part of every single frame instead of splitting it all up into separate layers, which I'll explain that a bit more in detail in the next day. And then at the night I did the compositing on it, and I think I was just trying to do a few effects really, but I'll end up redoing it all later. For the fourth day I did the final cut, which was just a simple 3-frame on repeat animation, nothing too complex. The one thing that I did that was good about this cut is I separated all of the layers. So the head and the arm and the belt were on one layer, which would just stay the same the entire time, so I didn't have to recolour that. But anything that was moving, like the hair, the fabric belt, the actual clothes, they're each on their own separate layer, so I can do them all separately. But for the fifth and final day, I just was polishing everything, making sure everything was alright. I did forget actually to colour the orange suit on one of the frames when I look back at it, which is really irritating. But I did also decide on the final day to just composite the final scene and then also redo the first scene, because I just really wasn't happy with it. So then in the end I just added some sound effects which I wasn't really happy with. I think it turned out alright, but I'm not really a sound effects person. But yeah, after all the compositing and adding sound effects, this was the final result. It took me about 5 days to do all this, and I mean it's only for like, well, 10 seconds of footage if you stretch it out and loop all the frames. But yeah, there was my first actual proper animation. Also, this is a quick editor's note. I'm recording this like voiceover in the middle of a park where it's like 30 degrees here in England, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just sitting here, it's just a full-on empty park. I'm just sitting here speaking to myself.